Hey everyone, in this series of videos I will be going over how to tune cars for pretty much each discipline so that they handle best for your driving style. This isn't oh, this is how you tune no matter what, blah blah blah. Like I said, this is for your driving style. First of all, I'm going to be tuning a street car in this one, which is the most basic. I recommend you add the wheel info app, the Geforce's app, and then the engine debug app. Put them wherever's comfortable for you, and then go and pick a car. Before I continue though, I would like to mention that I'm not using my normal recording setup. I'm using a different computer and whatnot. All my stuff is still on the other side of the country, so video and audio quality is not going to be the best for these, but whatever. Either way, let's get into it. So, once you've chosen the car you want, go through and customize it however you want. For a street car, I would recommend keeping it simple. You don't need tons of aero or like super high performance parts. Keep it mild because it's on the street. You don't need to be spinning your tires and going sideways constantly. So I'm going to change some parts and I'll be right back. Okay, now that we have our parts selected, I basically just went through and changed it all to sport and put a decent looking body kit on it. It looks alright in my opinion. First of all, I'm going to mention, leave anti-lock braking system off for now so that we can tune the brakes when we get to it. First of all, the higher grade parts you use, the more tuning will be available. If I went with like the race suspension, there'd be damping, compression and rebound damping and all that, but we don't really need to worry about that for a street vehicle. First of all, the wheels are sticking out a bit too far. I probably could have put narrower wheels on it, but whatever. So I'm going to bring them in about, let's go with 0.01 for right now. See how that goes. They're still sticking out a tiny bit, so let's try going with 2 as far in as we can, and that should be decent. Hopefully it doesn't clip with anything. Looks good. And then on the front, that looks good too. Alright, and it's not really poking out too far. I could put fender flares on it. Are there rear fender flares? I don't think there really is fender flares for this. No. There's like a wide body kit, but there isn't fender flares, so I'm not going to worry about that for right now. So, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get the RPM just right. Oops, wrong button. So what I recommend for the RPM, I always use the race adjustable ECU so that I can get the most out of whatever engine I'm using. It is the stock block, so it won't be too crazy. So set it up as high as we can, and this is why I like to have the engine debug. I will now slowly raise the RPM until it says over rev whatever. Looks like it's at about 8,000 RPM for the stock block, which isn't too bad. Let's check again. Alright, looks like it's about 8,700. So I am going to set the rev limit to about 8,500 so that we don't like blow our pistons or our valve train or anything. So 8,500, and then I'm going to drop the cut time a little bit, and we will apply that. Now we go to the brakes. This is why I mentioned to leave the anti-lock braking off for now. So we're going to go up to a decent speed and then slam on the brakes. And as you can see, they all completely lock up. So I'm going to drop the brake pressure down to about 95 for now. See how that does. And what we want here is we want the brakes to lock up as we get the brake pedal or trigger or whatever to full. That's still too early, so I'm going to drop it down to 85. And my reason for doing this, it allows us to have more control over the brakes. Oops, numlock is turned off. Come on. 85, there we go. It allows us to have more control over the brakes. We can move the trigger more without them locking up. So now that it's at 85, we'll try this. That feels much better. Try one more time just to make sure. The back brakes aren't locking up though, so I'm going to bring it back up to 90. And we'll go with that for now. Okay, so now that we have that set, we are going to go down to alignment. Down here. This is why we have the vehicle, or not vehicle, the wheel debug app or whatever it's called. The camber is, that's another thing. Street vehicles usually come, especially in real life, usually come tuned pretty much perfect for street use, not really sporty or anything depending on the grade or the level or whatever. I can't think of words right now. But I'm going to actually reduce the camber a tiny bit on the front and the back. And then I'm going to bring the toe out a little bit. That's toe in, so I'm going to go this way. Now, the camber is how much the top of the wheel leans in, which helps for going around corners and stuff. And then the toe adjusts how much it's pointed in or out. If you have your toe pointed in, it'll be good for straight lines, but it won't turn around corners as well. If you have your toe pointed out, it'll be a lot better for corners, but less stable than a straight line. I like to have my, I like to have my front wheels pretty much straight, and then my back wheels in a little bit. That way the back end is a little less likely to slide out on me. But since this is a street vehicle, I'm also going to toe in the front just a tiny bit. Oh, that pretty much didn't do anything. And then toe out the back a little bit more. And that should be okay for now. Your toe left and right just changes whether they are more to the left or more to the right as default. If your vehicle doesn't go in a straight line, this is when you change the toe left and right. And we'll cover this a bit more in later on videos. And then your caster, if you notice, or if you notice, when you turn, the wheel leans back a little bit. That is the caster, because if you picture a line coming up from your hub up to the top of your, I'm forgetting all kinds of words. I'm not used to recording anymore. It's been almost a year. Either way, your strut. It basically, or not basically, but it is how far your strut is leaning forwards or back. So if we go with more caster, like this, you can see that the wheel leans back more as we turn. And then less caster, of course, it'll either lean forwards or just not back as far. Caster is nice for going around corners because the forces when you're cornering want to push the wheel kind of the other way. So this counteracts it and makes it better for handling. And with the parts that we have, this is pretty much all we can do. I still think the camber is still too much. And I don't like it when my rear camber is more than the front, which just looks weird, and you never need it more than the front. And then that's pretty much it for a street car, really. Like I said, street cars are simple, not meant to go super fast. They're more for comfort or just getting from point A to B, but you also want to have fun. Like, there's nothing worse than a boring street car. And this seems to handle pretty well. It's a little on the gutless side, but that's because it's just a stock 1.5 4-liter or 2-liter 4-cylinder. But for getting from point A to point B, this would be pretty good. It sounds decent, it's not too loud. In the right gear, it goes when I hit the throttle. A little bit of wheel spin there. And then when I hit the brakes, it stops. So I'll kind of go up to the top of this road, and then I'll reset and go back. The wheels do stick out a little bit still, but I'm not too worried about that. Cool. I think for a street car, it's doing pretty well. I could go over the tuning a little bit more, but I don't really think it's needed. I'm going to now go in and turn on, or enable, whatever, add the anti-lock braking, so that when we're under hard braking, it doesn't lock up. Because on the street, the last thing you want is your wheels to lock up and you not be able to turn. So there we go. I would say that is the basics and all you really need to worry about when tuning a street car. If you want a little bit more power, you can add a better intake, a bit more open exhaust, a little turbo if you want. I'd keep the boost low if you add a turbo, because you don't want tons of turbo lag on the street. But yeah, I think for getting back and forth to work, groceries, whatever, this would be pretty fun. It handles pretty good, especially just for a street car on little street tires. So yeah, I hope this video helps you tune your street car, and I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, if you need a little bit more detail on certain things, check out one of my other videos that will be coming up soon, if not already out by the time you're watching this, on how to tune for other stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.